Want to increase shifting performance, or maybe having some difficulty in shifting? We're going to show you some tips that may help you. With a chain wear indicator, check for a worn chain. If the chain is worn, replacement may solve your problem. Now let's turn our attention to the limiting screws on the rear derailleur. We've shifted the chain to the small chainring and the smallest cassette cog by turning the high limiting screw, usually marked with an H. We can limit the guide pulley movement such that the guide pulley will sit just slightly, a few tenths of a millimeter to the right of the center of the chain as it sits on the smallest cog. This will give us nice snap shifting into that small cog. The low limiting screw, as we turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, will position the guide pulley under the large cassette cog. We would like to have this guide pulley sit directly in the midline of the chain as it sits on the large cog. If we don't turn it enough or turn it too much, it may not shift onto the large cog, or it may overshift and fall between the cassette and the wheel hub. If your problem is sluggish shifting from one cog to a larger cog, we can adjust the barrel adjuster. And the way you do this is to turn it counterclockwise, and this will put a little more tension on the cable and allow it to smoothly shift to a bigger cog. If you notice that you're having difficulty shifting from a large cog to a small cog, turn the barrel adjuster clockwise to decrease the tension and allow easier shifting to a smaller cog. Turn this barrel adjuster just 1/8 of a turn at a time. Try it out. Turn it a little bit more until you get exactly what you want. You can do the same thing while you're riding with the barrel adjuster for the rear derailleur that's located on the down tube. All you have to do is, if you notice sluggish shifting to the large cog, turn it counterclockwise, 1/8 of a turn or so at a time, and try it out. If you notice that there's poor shifting to a smaller cog, or that it's sluggish, turn the barrel adjuster clockwise, just 1/8 of a turn at a time, trying it out until you get exactly what you want. With the chain in the small chain ring and large cog, if you notice any rubbing against the inner plate of the front derailleur, adjust the inner limiting screw, either clockwise or counterclockwise, to move that plate to about 1 to 2 millimeters from the chain, again in the small chain ring and large cog. With the chain in the large chain ring and small cog, you may want to adjust the outer limiting screw such that the chain in this position is within about 1 to 2 millimeters. You may have to play with this a little bit to get the optimum shifting by turning it outward or inward, such that it will shift smoothly and the chain won't drop off the outer edge. If your bike has been in a crash or fallen over on the rear derailleur side, make sure that the derailleur hangs straight down and is parallel to the wheel. If not, it is possible that the attachment of the rear derailleur, the so-called derailleur hanger, may have been bent and may need to either be replaced or straightened out by an expert or your bike shop. If after all this you're still having difficulty in shifting, it may be time to replace the rear derailleur cable. If you have any other suggestions, please comment below. Subscribe to keep up with our latest videos. This is Tony at Tony 10 Speed. Safe cycling.